Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Wow. First of all, apologies for the mic situation. Fingers crossed. I believe it's fixed. 3 different pieces of software, and they all switch defaults on different things that involve the microphone on me. I think I have it fixed. I even did a test video, played it back and listened. So fingers crossed this works. If you're still here, thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks so much for all your support. Shout out to the 19. The WNBA has upped the ante. It has said, we have a date for you. You are going to sign a CBA by this date, or we will not be starting the season on time. Now, how much time goes by, like in terms of having a partial season, that we don't know yet. I would think there have been discussions amongst the WNBA, the owners in the league, Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver, where they say, hey, you know what? If we can play X number of games, then we'll go with that. But if it dips below that number, we are going to cancel the whole season, right? I mean, it's not like the WNBA hasn't played seasons that had, 20, 25, 30 games. So they can do that, and it would salvage something, and it would hopefully mitigate, right? Minimize, reduce the damage to the league going forward, so that maybe it still has a future after everything that Caitlin Clark has brought to the league that the players are trying to actively destroy by this CBA. And again, let's not forget that the players opted out of a CBA after Caitlin Clark's rookie year in 2024. The players had an opt-out option for negotiating a new CBA, and they saw everything that 2024 brought, even though it was not brought by them, and thought, hey, you know what? We have leverage now. We can get a lot more right now. And of course, the vets, and especially the vets in the leadership positions in the union, were like, yeah, man, we got to do this. We need to get our bag right now, because we are running out of time, and we're seeing all these young guns come in that are making more in college than we make in our entire career in the WNBA. And we are not going to be a part of the future growth. We're not going to be a part of the bigger salaries going forward and the bigger endorsement deals. So we need to get all of that now. And by doing so, or trying to do so, they put the entire league at risk and the future of the league at risk. But again, they do not care. That is important to understand. Those players who want to get everything now have nothing to lose, because they are not part of that future. And they are not negotiating from a position of, we want to leave the league in a better place for the players coming behind us. They simply are not. And the league has finally said, hey, that's it. So March 10th is the deal, folks. March 10th. WNBA tells players season will be delayed without labor deal by March 10th. Now, I got to tell you, for me, and I've talked about this previously, I've had conversations with other people, I figured, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to said the same thing. I think, we were like middle of February. If they don't get it done by middle of February, we're going to have a delayed season. So I think that the league, and this does not mean I endorse everything about the offer, but I'm saying in terms of this, I think the league is being generous by trying to stretch things out to March 10th and hopefully getting things done, because that seems awfully late. The draft is in, a month after that? Think about that, right? And training camp, I believe, starts in April, or maybe officially not to May. It might. So you have. We'll get into this, and then we'll talk about everything they have to accomplish. WNBA told players that the sides would need to agree on a labor deal by March 10, or the season would be delayed, a league source confirmed to Front Office Sports. The sides have blown several deadlines as they've negotiated over a new collective bargaining agreement for more than a year, and are rapidly closing in on the May 8th scheduled start date for the season. Yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. And I think that goes on both, right? I'm laying blame on the players and the league. The opt-out happened after, right, October, right after the 2024 season, and they let it slide until over a year later after the 2025 season, when they were like, okay, now maybe we'll start negotiating. ESPN first reported the news of the league's ultimatum. The comments were made in a bargaining session on Monday. The sides met virtually as New York City was blanketed by a snowstorm. Yes, it was ridiculous. The amount of snow, ridiculous. They teased us earlier this week with the first day that felt like, oh, spring's around the corner, right? You know the type of weather I'm talking about if you live somewhere where you have a real winter. But they're like, no, psych, just kidding. We're going to bring back a winter snowstorm. Anyway, though the season is set for May, the league needs time to conduct free agency and expansion draft for 2 new teams and the college draft. Side swap proposals last week, with the league not budging off its offer of $5.6 million, 5.65, something like that per team. Players that sought a salary cap of more than $9 million and a greater share of league revenue. The league claims that the players' proposed structure is unrealistic and would cause hundreds of millions of dollars in losses for the league and its teams. So again, and what it didn't even mention in that. Now I'm sure teams have probably put that together, right? Like the teams are working on stuff. I'm sure the front offices and coaches are having discussions about who to draft, having discussions about who to contact first. They've got their list of free agents. Who do we have on our roster that we want to prioritize re-signing? And then who do we want to go after right away? They have got their list in terms of free agencies. They've got all the contingencies. I would hope, again, if the team's being run correctly, this is what you have. You have your list of players and positions and needs that are on your team. Who do you want to re-sign? And then, of course, you're also thinking, who are you likely to be able to re-sign versus who you are not probably going to be able to re-sign, and then filling that position and looking at the free agents and not only prioritizing who you want, but it's going to be filling your need on their roster and who you are likely to be able to sign, right? I doubt that the Indiana Fever have Asia Wilson at the top of their priority list because, one, they have a better center in Aaliyah Boston, and Asia Wilson's not coming to Indiana to play with Caitlin Clark. I think we all know that, right? So hopefully they have all that done, and of course they've all got everything figured out in terms of their draft and all that. And because the one thing I think that article didn't mention also is, who are you protecting, right? And I keep asking this, and I've seen it nowhere. It's not even being discussed. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is an interesting topic for me. Off the top of my head, from just running all these scenarios, the only way to fill the roster of 2 expansion teams with this season, with the number of free agents, which is basically everyone but rookie contracts, I think 2 players not on rookie contracts or under contract. So basically the league is a free agent. How do you fill 2 expansion team rosters unless there's something in there where you're basing it on, years in the league, something that says if you're a free agent, and I don't know, maybe those free agents get something extra, but they've got to have something that says if you're a free agent, maybe they do it for a certain number, right? Like each expansion team can draft 3 free agents that have to play for that expansion team. There has to be something like that in order to fill 2 teams. I don't know how else you fill 2 teams, because think about, we'll use Indiana because most everyone watching knows that. They're 5 players. They've got, 4 under contract, right? And Lexi Hull's a restricted free agent, so she could get an offer elsewhere, and then Indiana, if they want to match that, can keep her. Otherwise, they can say, it's too rich for our blood, we'll let her go. So you most likely you're going to have Aaliyah, Caitlin, Lexi, Michaela Timpson. Those are the players under contract, and you can only protect 5. So again, that free agency thing is going to play into that too. But let's just say it's Kelsey Mitchell. I think that would be the 5, right? So all the rest, unrestricted free agents, that's who the expansion teams get to pull from. So if they draft one of them, there's got to be something in order to fill those teams with the free agents. So I would love to know more details about that. But anyway, you've got all that, you got the and then there's the free agency period, right? Like, what is the free agency period going to be? Let's say the league, they wait to the last minute, but they do get something done March 9th or whatever, March 10th. Not a whole lot of time for free agency. Now you've got an entire league of free agents, like freaking musical chairs, because not only do the teams have to fill out their roster, they've got to go by position and need and how those players play in a system and how those players play with the players that are currently on the team and the whole thing. It was going to be absolutely wild if a deal gets done and it's not until close to this deadline. Well, I guess it's already close to this deadline. We've got what, 3 weeks? Not even 3 weeks. What's today, the 24th? Is it 28 or 29 days in February this year? I'm not even sure. But basically, it's less than 3 weeks to have a deal done, right? So it's going to be wild to see what happens. I really want to know about the expansion draft free agency thing and how they're going to figure that out to have an entire roster. And at some point here, they get a deal, man. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be able to play that whole fantasy league thing and start talking about how do we fill the Indiana Fever roster to go win a championship. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out the video. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk